Career, he's really been hurt. He's gone down before one time, but there was a perfect left hand. Roy never saw it coming. Roy is out, and Roy may be out of boxing.
That's why Tarver wanted to be the counterpuncher, because he answered Roy's right hand.
We stood for two different things. He was a social media blowout. He blew it away. You feel me? And that fit his character.
The internet was ablaze with comments when a video clip of Floyd Mayweather seeing Roy Jones Jr. be knocked unconscious by Antonio Tarver appeared online. The video shows Mayweather grinning and nodding as a counter left hook down Jones hard. An important turning point in Roy's career was his knockout in 2004. Years later, seems like Mayweather is still using it as fuel in their verbal battle. One may argue that Jones initiated the conflict. Floyd was mistaken, though. He believed Roy Jones Jr. would remain mute.
Oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah. Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go ever top that? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got to 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano.
Right.
So Rocky died. If he wouldn't die, he probably would have kept going too. So and then at the end, you fight a guy that's 0-0 for number 50. How can I respect?
Roy Jones Jr. has never shied away from critiquing Floyd Mayweather, often downplaying his legacy by emphasizing style over stats. For Roy, greatness isn't just about an undefeated record or financial success. It's about taking risks, thrilling fans, and creating unforgettable moments in the ring. He's long viewed himself as the more exciting and daring fighter, someone who brought flash and danger to every performance. This mindset isn't new. In a 2018 interview, Jones made it clear, while Mayweather was unmatched in making money, their careers were fundamentally different. Roy pointed to his own highlight reel knockouts and versatility across weight classes as proof that his impact transcends numbers. He boldly claimed that no fighter in any era could match what he achieved inside the ropes. These statements have sparked controversy, especially among Mayweather's loyal fan base who see Floyd's defensive brilliance and perfect record as untouchable. But for Roy, legacy is about more than wins. It's about how you won.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
Didn't stop there, though. Jones used Sugar Ray Leonard's name to support his argument in a more recent interview on All. The Smoke Fight. He believed Leonard to be a more formidable opponent than Mayweather. The mindset, not the CV, is the deciding factor. Sugar is a dog, he remarked. That he would contribute a degree of cruelty and violence that Floyd lacked. Roy was getting right to the point. It takes more than skill, something more resilient, something more cruel is what you need. Floyd didn't have that, in his opinion. It completes the circle. Floyd made the decision to reply in the most Floyd manner imaginable after years of being the subject of remarks such as that.
Musty energy.
Lord child, the man Floyd Money Mayweather is watching video of Roy Jones getting knocked out. Yeah, man. Roy Jones absolutely getting cooked. And all this is because Floyd Money Mayweather is upset at Roy Jones Jr. for Roy saying that Floyd could not beat a prime Sugar Ray Leonard. Lord child.
Just a few videos uploaded to Instagram stories and no tweets, no interviews. One of Tarver knocking Roy Jones Jr. down cold. After the battle with Glenn Johnson, another image of him was spread out on the canvas. Every video is timed precisely. Floyd didn't need words to express what he intended to communicate in each post. It was a straightforward message. Floyd's reminding them of the lowlights while Roy brags about the highlights. Furthermore, the difference is striking since Floyd was never knocked out, never had any significant injuries, and never tested positive for illegal drugs. Mayweather is clearly separating the two of them, even if he isn't saying anything about it. The showman, who flew dangerously near to the sun versus the unbeaten strategist. Fans have chosen sides, of course.
If you let him move around and do what he want to do, he gonna beat you because he's very explosive and he's very mean.
I was gonna say mean
To me, people don't give him enough credit. People always say, well, Floyd would beat Sugar. No, baby, Floyd is not as nearly as mean as Sugar was.
You don't think you would beat him?
How? How you gonna keep him off of him? Sugar is a dog. Just because his name Sugar don't mean nothing. Sugar is a dog. People don't give him enough credit for that. You gotta think, this in around, between around 13 and 14, I think. Angelo Dundee said, you're blowing it, son.
Online forums erupted in discussion and comments. Roy should have anticipated that, one user said, summarizing Floyd's reaction with a chuckle. They brought up Floyd's lengthy history of psychological warfare and intentional pettiness. Another user underlined that Floyd never lost, was never knocked out, and never tested positive for performance-enhancing substances. Roy's supporters also defended him, claiming that his career was full of daring plays and spectacular finishes. Roy should have just taken it easy like Floyd, according to one caustic comment. The inference is that Roy lost because he dared to aim for greatness, whereas Floyd strategically chose his opponents.
We stood for two different things. He was a social media blowout. He blew it away. You feel me? And that fit his character because he could do it, and do things the way he did it. He was smarter. I wanted to play King of the Hill. He didn't care to play King of the Hill. He wanted to play King of the Field, which he did.
The truth lies somewhere in between. Floyd Mayweather did face elite opponents Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, and Marcos Maidana. Jay's journey wasn't easy, just different. Mayweather's defensive brilliance and strategic approach often contrast with the flashier legacy of Roy Jones Jr. Roy was dominance, danger, and raw talent, landing triple left hooks with his hands down, making elite fighters look like amateurs, and even winning a heavyweight title while remaining nearly untouchable. At his peak, he was a phenomenon. Yes. But everything changed after his knockout loss to Antonio Tarver. His reflexes slowed, his speed faded, and the risks he once defied started catching up. Glenn Johnson knocked him out cold, and as the years went on, Roy continued fighting, often in small venues, suffering losses to names far from the elite tier he once ruled. While Mayweather's career was meticulously managed, Roy's was a roller coaster, brilliant, but ultimately tragic in its decline. The debate endures because their greatness looked so different.
You mentioned Floyd. Where would you put him in the rankings? Mayweather. Where would you put him?
Who?
All right, let me ask you a question.
If you don't respect Muhammad Ali, how can I respect you?
Floyd Mayweather never had that fall. Left the sport on his terms, unhurt and richer after every appearance, even the exhibitions. From his perspective, his career was a business venture, one he managed flawlessly. He calls himself the best ever, not just because of his perfect record, but because he avoided the traps that caught others. To him, Roy Jones Jr. is a cautionary tale, unmatched talent who couldn't protect his legacy. And when Floyd shares those knockout clips of Roy, it's his way of reminding the world who truly mastered the game. But for Roy, the story is different. He still sees himself as the more gifted fighter, the one who redefined what was possible in the ring. The speed, the angles, the showmanship, those were his gifts to boxing. He's proud of what he gave fans, even if his career didn't end cleanly. For Roy, greatness isn't just measured in undefeated records. It's about the moments, the risks, the magic he brought. The journey, with all its highs and lows, is what defines his legacy. And that's what he's trying to make people understand.
Okay, well, we want to know, in the least amount of fights, I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
There is nothing new for Roy to say. He's said it all already. Thinks Floyd is a financial guru rather than a combatant. That rather than walking through danger, he stayed out of it. That although Roy sought difficulties, he built a career of business movements and defense. Floyd posting some videos won't change that thinking. It just serves to confirm Roy's suspicion that Floyd is more concerned with looks than with content. Roy is not the only one who has this opinion. It's fold over the years, certain boxing media personalities have expressed similar opinions. They highlight Floyd's defensive tactics, his meticulous matchmaking, and the timing of several of his bouts. Floyd's CV is flawless, according to others who vehemently disagree. It demonstrates all you need to know, including defeating a youthful Canelo, an experienced Pacquiao, a muscular Maidana, and an astute Cotto, making more money than anyone else in boxing despite going 50-0, proves it.
Crazy that everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, you know, fighters fight, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million, but I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight and get a guarantee?
The fact that both guys have distinct conceptual frames just serves to stoke the flames. Roy thinks it's important to give the supporters what they came for. Floyd feels that you should provide people what they are prepared to pay for. To test himself, Roy engaged in battles that had no financial value. Floyd awaited the correct numbers. In every battle, Roy put everything on the line. Floyd didn't take any chances unless they were calculated. These tactics are not limited to boxing. They're philosophical. And the reason the friction between them persists is precisely because of those disparities.
Why is the money so important? Why do you always come back to the dollars? People want to know.
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. You can't take your wife on a date for free.
Is that how you measure your success?
No. Me, I'm loyal and honest, and I'm a good person, and I call a spade a spade. Money don't make me, I make money. And without money, I'd be the same person. I fought so many fights for free.
There was even conjecture on the internet that Roy's recent insults to Floyd were an attempt to remain current, or maybe to arrange an exhibition bout. According to a user, Roy was attempting to maintain his notoriety while his financial circumstances evolved. Exhibition fights have been a common method for retiring legends to stay active and make money, even if Roy has no proven financial difficulties. Mayweather has participated in a number of them. In 2020, Jones engaged in an exhibition bout with Mike Tyson, even if it were not scored. The prospect of the two sharing a ring would be intriguing, because to their shared past,
and one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but I want to show you, when I show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate him.
See, they're upset because I'm able to milk the game. I was smart, kept all my faculties, made a lot of smart investments. So, you know, when great people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, the Waltons, the people that own Walmart, Walgreens, when they're getting money in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, 80s, and even 90s, it's okay.
I love Floyd, but it seems like everybody's afraid to have that O, to have a 1 or a 2 where the O used to be. Ali lost, Sugar Ray lost, Hagler lost, Hearns lost. These guys lost. When did the O become the end all be all?
I think Mayweather, you know, and how he made it big to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Like